At 2 Point Hospital, over 52% of our patients believe they leave healthier than when they arrived. Our precisely calibrated equipment is operated by compassionate healthcare practitioners, many of whom have even been to medical school or watched ER. If you suffer from turtle head, let us ease your worries and noggin gently out of your body. Chest infection is no laughing matter. Put your trust and oversized shoes in our capable hands. We're building a brighter, safer future, and hardly anything will stand in our way. You deserve the best. So join us at 2 Point Hospital. We're open for new staff, new patients, and a new you. Can I go play golf yet? I'm teeing off at 3.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel, and today I am here with something a little bit different. Yes, we are on 2 Point Hospital and beginning our journey, our career as a hospital administrator on this game, and that's of course us like a career mode as we start at Hogsport, this hospital, and then you move on to larger, more advanced hospitals with more exotic diseases, more things to treat of course, and it gets a little bit more difficult, a little bit more challenging. And of course, the game just continues to advance in that sense. But we're starting here at Hogsport, and while I get the reception sorted and decide where we're going to put that, I'm going to talk a bit about how these videos are going to work. It's quite a laid-back video compared to some of the other videos on my channel. Of course, my team career mode, they're really full on 60 minutes of action. This is going to be about 30 minutes per video, and it's basically going to be me talking through designing this hospital and kind of a sort of playthrough career mode kind of thing that we're going to be doing, and that's basically the plan. If you guys want to see this continuation of these videos, then vote with the like button, subscribe to the channel, and of course if we're getting good views on these videos, then I will continue to make them, sort of continue our career mode, see the hospitals develop and then move on to other hospitals. As you can see, we just hired our first assistant, that's Neil Shandy. And of course, he was the most expensive out of the options, but I wanted to choose the best out of the best to start with in terms of the people we're getting. Generally because, you know, when it's quite a small hospital, we might only have one receptionist for a little while, 2 receptionists. We can't afford with someone who's got poor traits and just can't really be bothered. That's not really going to work. And I put the reception on the right-hand side because on the left-hand side, I quite want to have like a sort of waiting area for the patients. That's the plan on that left-hand side. And then we're starting with our GP office. That's going to go here. That's at least the plan to start. We're getting the office desk down. You've certainly got to have that. And you've got to have a door because climbing in through windows isn't always the best of options. Getting a couple of filing cabinets in, I mean, logistically, when you think of it, they're quite important things to have in there. So we'll shove in the important things first, and then, of course, maybe things like bin, fire extinguisher, and so on. But, of course, GP office wise, probably going to need like a couple of GP offices, maybe even 3, because everyone has to go to the GP office at the start of their hospital journey, whether they end up in a ward or they end up potentially at the pharmacy. It doesn't make much of a difference. You're going to have to come to the GP office first. So there's going to be everyone who comes in is going to be going to the GP office. So we've got to probably end up having a few towards the end of this hospital. But of course, we're placing a plant over there. We've already got the bin, the fire extinguisher in. And some reason, Sonic things. I mean, I don't know if there's a current Sonic event or anything, but I don't know why there's multiple Sonic items. Either way, I'm not too bothered about including Sonic things. I'm not a massive Sonic fan. I'm more of a, to be honest with you, I'm more of a Mario Kart kind of fan. I like Mario Kart, and I also like the Mario, Luigi, Yoshi, specifically Yoshi. But we just placed a nice photo. It's Jasmine Odyssey photo. They have no clue what it is, but we need a photo just to put something in that side of the room. And we've got our first GP office complete. We need a doctor, of course, to go with that. Sally Quack. That should be, I mean, I think that's definitely the best option to go for there. Of course, it was a student doctor, I do believe there. You don't particularly want one of them as your only doctor you've got. You want a properly qualified one, and hopefully we can speed up the process a little bit, considering we've only got one diagnostic room And of course now our first patient is here out of an incredibly unusual looking ambulance, and they have had a feeling of whateverness. We don't know what their issue is for 3 days, and probably going to spend 4 days in here. Loving how it was 3 days by the time they'd walked in, 4 days by the time they'd reached the counter. So either time goes very, very quickly here, or they were walking very, very slowly. Anyway, they are straight into the GP office. Of course, no waits at the moment because we haven't got anyone else here. And that's one thing I must change, actually, because the desk and the seat, I wanted the desk at the back and then to swap the seat round. But of course, we've diagnosed someone and we need a pharmacy. That's the first thing to do. I'm just going to move this desk round generally because it makes more sense to have the patient come straight in, sit on the seat, than have to go all the way around the back. A weird thing in this game about plants, because at the start you don't have that much access to decorations, as we of course build a pharmacy there. So you end up just throwing the same plant pretty much everywhere just to make it look somewhat nice. And you sort of think, that must make the place pretty tedious to look at. Anyway, we've got the pharmacy in there, the drug mixer. That's always an interesting machine. Hopefully I'll show you what it looks like later in the video in action. Great animations in this game. Really, really love them. Place a bin there next to the door, and we've got a fire extinguisher too. Always need that if the drug mixer sets on fire. How optimistic I am. How optimistic. Insert sarcasm there, yeah. Continuing on, window. Actually, I think, yeah, this is probably a good one to have a window for. I mean, you want a bit of privacy if you're in a ward or if you're in a psychiatrist room or potentially even in a GP room. You want a bit of privacy, so we don't need too much privacy when you're collecting some drugs from a drug mixer, because that's probably one of the least privacy needing things to do in the whole hospital. But now, of course, we need a nurse, unless we can't do anything for it. Oh, Robin Basket. We can get him, of course. He's got that stamina training and can work in our lovely pharmacy, so he's going to be the perfect man. What a name, Robin Basket. You get some fantastic names on this game. We've got 2 people waiting for the GP office there. He's been waiting for 24 days. I'd storm off if it was 24 days, I've got to say. I wouldn't even be there for 24 days. Anyway, this is the area I was wanting to fit some benches in, just a bit of a waiting area, a general waiting area. You can sort of sit here if there's long queues, which will probably end up will being, let's say, the GP office. You know, just come over here, sit down here, and you can go to a bench outside the rooms. And I'm going to place some benches outside the rooms just if you're the next person in line, so you can get there, so you're not having to walk across the whole hospital. But generally just a normal waiting area over here. And of course, if it's a waiting area, you want something interesting. But we are going to put some leaflet stands over here next to our lovely receptionist. Generally for something, it looks kind of nice to have the leaflet stands to the side. I'm not particularly bothered that you're going to get a leaflet, but I think it just kind of works. And a nice plant there, and a plant there, the exact same plant that you're going to see about 24 times in this first hospital, until we end up actually getting something interesting. And place one outside there. Want to keep them somewhat happy. I'm not particularly bothered, but we'll keep the customers, patients somewhat happy. I get a drinks machine and a snack machine in there too. Of course, they've got to be able to get something to eat unless they're going to starve to death, and something to drink unless they're going to collapse from dehydration. And if they're already coming into the hospital ill with something else, we don't particularly want anyone collapsing on the floor or dying for other reasons other than what we've already got to treat them for. Anyway, we're going to fit some benches into this area over here. I'm just sort of planning out where they're going to be. I think we're going to do kind of like this. So we're going to have 2 across, 2 across, 2 across, 2 across, and of course 2 of them will be back to back. You'll see what I mean in a second. So the 2 on the left hand side there, that's going to be back to back with the other ones over there. To be honest, we don't seem to have much room between them. We don't need too claustrophobic, so I think we'll sort out some larger gaps in a minute or 2. But at the moment, I'm sort of just filling in this area, waiting for us to get something a bit more interesting. Place a bin, I think next to the snack machines, if you finish with your bag of crisps. Then, or your cheesy chubbins, as they're called, of that, cheesy chubbins. Finish with your cheesy chubbins, go and shove it in the bin after that. But we have got another plant there, making it 4 plants that aren't in rooms. 6 plants in total, and they're all the same. Ah, how nice. And of course a fire extinguisher, because we're totally safety first. If we forget about the amount of people who are probably going to die and turn into ghosts, because we haven't treated them quick enough. Either way, I have no clue what on earth the doctor's doing there, looking like they're talking to a plant. And over here we've got the reception desk, and I'm kind of thinking about the reception desk. We could extend that in a minute, of course, because really... What are you doing, mate? Have you not got anything better to do? I guess not, then. I think we also need to create in the GP's office, too. We're certainly going to need 3. Probably once the hospital's fully done up, maybe even 4. As I said, the first thing that people go to. So, I'm going to copy this one. Bit of the same, but let's go for equality between our staff. Let's just get this lined up nicely. I'm sort of thinking how big of a gap we want between them, and also kind of just so that you can get into this waiting area over here. And I think that's actually 2 fights, like making it look as soon as you're into the main as soon as you come through the main entrance, it's like, oh, how nice is the edge of a room, edge of the GP room there. We don't exactly want a window, just a bit of privacy really, isn't it, if you go into a GP room? As I said, some of them you do want a bit of privacy. And then I might do a video on absolutely take the mick, and we're going to have psychiatrist rooms, which windows all the way round, and the body anatomy models in the room. Yeah, exactly what you want. And now, of course, we do need another doctor, and I'm thinking we go Vladimir Force. Yeah, he apparently thinks life's a rom-com. He's unmotivated and believes that cheesy gubbins are cheesy goblins. Wow, bit tight on your cheesy gubbins over there. You won't be going to that vending machine, I'm telling you. In fact, if he was a janitor, he'd probably be smashing it with a hammer. That isn't really that great either. Right, we're going to move these benches a little bit further away, just so that people aren't getting crushed into each other, because that seems to be what's happening over there. Seems a bit too much of a communal area. Don't want people talking. Solitary confinement, this hospital. No, it isn't exactly a prison, really. But the amount of times people are going to spend here, it's going to feel like one, probably. But we'll try and move that bench. 2 people currently sat on that, so we'll have to throw them off it into the cheesy gubbins. That's not really a bad place to get thrown into, is it? The cheesy gubbins vending machine. It's probably worse. I want to move that back. For some reason that's not allowing us to move it back. I don't know why. Let's see. Can this one move back? No. Right. So I think the plan is we're just going to leave them there, whether I want to move them back or not. Yeah, we're just going to leave it there. Of course, 2 Point Hospital, really fantastic game. I'll have a little bit of talk about this now for the next couple of minutes as we place the plant in the middle of there. Really fantastic game. I would really advise you to get your hands on it. It's laid back, but it's not overly complicated, but it's a really, really fun game. And you've got that sort of management side to it. It's a bit of a challenge at times, of course, because you need to have so many of certain things to be able to have the hospital running smoothly, but there simply isn't enough space for them, and you don't have the right amount of money to be able to have all these GP officers and all these wards and so on. So it's a really fantastic game, and of course 2 Point are releasing their second game, as we're going to move Nurse Robin Basket in a second, I think. Staff job assignment, we don't need to worry about that. I'm just going to move him over to where he should be, because we've got quite a wait for the pharmacy, and he's going for a nice little stroll. I mean, it's not exactly the most scenic of places to go for a stroll, is it really? I'd go outside for a minute. Oh, got a drink. How nice. You've been there 37 days. That's quite sad. Anyway, continuing. 2 Point are, of course, releasing their second game. We've got 2 Point Campus coming out soon. That's going to be really interesting to see how that one goes. Looks like a really fantastic game. Thought I'd tell you guys about that. So if you've got 2 Point Hospital, you enjoy that. 2 Point Campus, from what I've seen, looking really, really a fantastic game to get. And basically 2 Point Hospital, it's not a hospital. People don't die. You can get more attached to certain characters in the game because they're there for like a 3-year period. Not in the actual game, but a 3-year period at your university, at the campus. And looks like plenty of fun from the trailer and so on. So I'd really recommend that. And back to what we're doing. We're going to increase the reception size because we're going to need to increase the reception at some point. And I've got a little bit of an idea. We might have the staff room behind that. just to kind of close it off a little bit for them so they don't feel like they've got people walking behind them and so on. So we're just going to slot those two next to each other. And then the leaflet stand right at the end of this one. We're going to need this size of a reception in the end. We're not going to need it now. But, of course, moving further on, I don't want to have to rearrange half of the area just because we would need to fit that in. And, of course, pretty much about halfway in this video, and really now you're sort of seeing what the video is about. We're going to zoom on a little bit because, to be honest, there's not much for us to do at this point. We can't really do much. This guy has just been in, and he's got Vladimir Force, and he's gonna go to the chemist for that. I have no idea what Vladimir Force is. Have to say, it's really gonna get interesting when we start to get to the people with pans on their head and things like that. I mean, these people who just come in for a drug, it's not that incredible, it's not that exciting and dramatic. It's still good, but it's not quite what we're going to get later. Trust me, we're going to get some drama later with patients with pans on the head. But we have got our first patient cured, which is fantastic. Get some money, reputation increases. And what were they cured of? Let's have a little look. Of course, you can find that in the log section. And mood-wise, not too bad. Log, they've been cured of... Actually, I didn't see that. I have no clue. Let's just forget about that. Move on. Janitors and maintainers. Yes, we're going to need them, of course. Because when people vomit on the floor, you don't want to leave it there. You don't want overflowing bins. But let's watch this drug mixer for a second. Quite a spectacle are the animations in this game. And we're going to get this spinning round in circles like we're on a merry-go-round in a second. Well, more than a merry-go-round, I'm telling you that. It's not a child-friendly one. But, of course, it's really cool, these animations in this game. And this is probably one of the least dramatic. And to say that it's least dramatic and exciting is pretty good. You've got to love the animations in it. And I love how it sort of, when it spins, it goes a little bit past it and then kind of just pulls it back to where it should be to slot back in. And now we're going to see him drink some pills. Comes out like he's just got a beer. And then he drinks pills with what looks like to be no water in there. So he's probably dying at this point, choking on it. But he's fine. He's cured. So we got someone else cured. And at the moment, I think we want a janitor. Joanne Compost. Joanne Compost. What a weird name. That's a really weird name. She constructed of banana peels or something. Got some apple. Old apple in there. We're going to go with her, of course. She's got the best kind of traits. I presume they're called traits and abilities, which is exactly what we want. And in terms of what else, we want to get another assistant. And I am thinking we could go for a junior, but I think we can go with a senior, just for the long term. Have someone decent who is actually going to be beneficial later on instead of a student. And I know you can sort of improve them, but we do want to... We want to have someone in the future who's going to be decent. So we've got someone decent in there. We're going for decent people who are expensive, which probably isn't the way to play this game. Either way, we have actually just completed loads of challenges. You get the challenges and tasks on the right hand side that you've got to complete to kind of move on and unlock more things that you can do. And we have just done one of those. The last one we did, because we've got that lovely waiting area just done, that was just totally done. We didn't have to worry about that door. Now I'm going to get a staff room, and I'm thinking we're going to go for the staff room behind here, but actually we are going to have to make a couple of changes because these reception desks are too far back. We can move them a bit further forward, though. It makes it a bit more obvious, I suppose, when you're arriving in the hospital. You just see, right, okay, I'm in right-hand side. Let me go over to these really tired, overworked-looking assistants who are probably drinking coffee by this point because it's 6 o'clock and you've come in because you had a DIY disaster after work and you've got a nail in your hand. Or if it's this game, you've got your head stuck in a pan. Yeah, I know which one's slightly more realistic. But, I mean, we love it. We love it. We gotta love it. Now, the staff room's going to go behind here. And this is a bit bigger. But we're doing smaller rooms. But we've got to keep the staff happy. not too fussed about the patients. Shouldn't really say that. But we want to keep the staff happy, so we're going to have a nice little room over here where they can go to their staff room. Quite big. You only need to have it 3x2, and we've gone 4x3, I do believe there. Sofas, armchairs. Do anyone need some snacks for them too? That's exactly what you want. I think we'll sort of place sofas down the back, snacks at the end, have some lockers in there too so they can keep their stuff safe. Do we put in a window or not? No, we want the privacy in there. We don't want to have it sort of looking onto people, I suppose. That would be a little bit weird. Drinks machine and snack machine wise, we'll put a drinks machine and a snack machine over here for them to use, not the people who have probably just vomited on it in the normal area, or they put their bacteria on their hands because they've got some sort of a disease all over it. So hopefully our staff don't die. I'm being really positive today. We're gonna, of course, add in now sofas, armchairs. We're gonna go with these down the back, and then potentially another one on the other side. So we're gonna go in with sofas, probably a couple of sofas, a couple of armchairs. You might not want to sit on a sofa, sit on an armchair. I'd rather sit on the sofa, but if you're really antisocial and everyone else is in the room, then go sit on the armchair, even though it's right next to the sofa. Haven't really solved the problem there. I've just changed it slightly. Then we're going to add in a couple of lockers, probably 3 down this side over here for the staff, and then we'll see what we can do with some more plants. So many plants, the janitor's going to hate us because they're always going to be watering plants. Well, can't believe that was a bit weird. Anyway, continuing along, we have got plant. I think I'll put a plant on the left-hand side to break up the locker side, and then break up the food side potentially by putting another plant on the other side, moving the bin around maybe a little bit. And we are going to go, I think, potentially for changing this around a bit. I've accepted it, just then I can easily change around the items in the room, because I want to move the drinks machine across a little bit, so then we can put the bin in the far corner. Just get that out of the way. It's not invisible view, and also it's close to the vending machines, which is potentially what you want. And the plan is to add in another sofa over here, not too far to the vending machines, but of course just break it up with a plant on the left side and a plant on the right side. That should just keep it nice and broken up, nice and excluded from what's around it. And then we've got a couple of the same photo on the wall, because there's no other photos we can use, so we're just going to use the same photo twice. A little bit weird, but it's absolutely fine. Anyway, so we've got that staff room sorted behind the reception. I'm thinking of going to have to put something on that back wall there behind the reception at some point. At the moment it's a little bit bland, but if we move these reception desks across, got a really nice area going on behind there, and I do really like having the staff room kind of behind the reception, because it puts a wall behind the reception, and it also allows them to get to the staff room quite easily, of course. That's gonna, if someone needs to just quickly step in on the desk because it's getting a bit busy at the front, just nip out the staff room and straight in there. That works quite well. And we've got Camilla Codpiece. Oh, shame she's not made of salmon, isn't it? And she was diagnosed with Vladimir Force. Once again, that's a popular thing. And this man's just been cured. Titus Stop. Cured by Robin Basket. That's really nice. So, we are looking at the pharmacy. We've actually got 4 people waiting to be cured there. Only one in that GP office, and only none in that GP office. So, a little bit worrying with the amount of people who want to get an appointment in the pharmacy, and I'm getting a little bit worried about that. We do have to make some toilets now, because of course we don't want the pharmacy to be overflowing and then people leave and getting frustrated. I'm sure it won't take that long for that to happen. Just assessing where to put the toilets, and we don't want them, I suppose, too far away from the entrance. We want them kind of close to the general waiting area. So I think we're going to sort of slot that in here, and then have this sort of a winding round the back area for the toilets over there. That's what we're going to go for. And I think we're going to try and potentially just have a 1 strip. You know what I mean? Just a 1 strip going down there, and then we go across think that might work a bit better with the plans. Yeah, that should work. But then again, we've got 3... I want to have 3 toilets in here. We want a large enough toilet for when it starts to get a little bit busy. But yeah, we're going to have 2. Yeah, we're going to have 2 width-wise at this side, just to be able to fit the sinks in and a couple of hand dryers in. Although, like, I'm sure drying people's hands is not the biggest issue they've got when their head's turned into a cube or some obscure disease like that. Either way, hand dryer. We've got to have a couple of them, whether we think we should pay 200 for them. But no need to worry about that. Plenty of money in the bank at the moment if we keep putting in all these lovely rooms, like toilets and GP stuff. People will come, they'll get cured, and we'll get money for it. And we'll put the extinguisher right at the end, so if you've been in the toilet, you've flushed it, it's set on fire, then you can set the fire out. And I have no idea why the toilet set on fire, but who knows? Who knows? Plenty of water in that room anyway, sort it all out. Rage quitting. Petrosob isn't happy. Oh, that's a shame. Not happy either. 168 days. That's a tad worrying. Yeah, I can see why you're not happy. Don't know how they wait so long. I mean, people always wait for the pharmacy, but there have been massive queues, of course, for the GP. So a little bit surprised. And then we've got general diagnosis unlocked, so we can get into putting a general diagnosis there. If you don't know what that is, we've basically got the GP office. Then people that might be sent to potentially have to go to the pharmacy, or they might be sent to the general diagnosis, which is a further diagnosis for those who they can't sort of understand what it is. At a simple GP's meeting, they're going to got this EZ scanner, and of course the examination table. Hopefully no one falls off that. I mean, probably it's not that big of a drop, is it? Should put a carpet underneath it if you fall down. Either way, we get the filing cabinets in there. They're important pretty much everywhere to keep the patient's data and then leak it somehow on social media. Because, you know, it's 2 Point Hospital. We can do it one. And then we want to potentially make it look a little bit nice. We'll add a bin in there. I'm not saying that makes it look nice, but it just fills up the room. So we'll add a bin over there, and as always, a fire extinguisher just to put the people at ease. Sort of. It's a bit worrying, you've got to have a fire extinguisher in every room, I suppose. Anyway, we've got that sorted there with the general diagnosis. And we are sort of coming towards the end of the video now. Only about 4 minutes left in this one. Let's have a little look. What are you doing over there, Dr. Vladimir Force? I'm going to pick him up, throw him in there. We do need a doctor at the moment. Oh, and dear, and someone else is rage quitting. That is Kevin Teeth after 181 days. Maybe his enamel run out. Sorry for the name puns. Yeah, they're going to continue if we do more videos. Just going to make fun of these people's names because they're not real. We do need to get the janitor in the pharmacy at the moment because sparking a little bit, and we'd like to avoid it setting on fire. We do have, of course, got a fire extinguisher in there, but the idea is to stop it from setting on fire before it sets on fire. That plant certainly needs watering, gotta say. We don't want any dying plants. I mean, that's the priority, isn't it? We're in a hospital. Focus on the plants, not the actual people. I can't seem to find our janitor at the moment. I'm probably missing them. Oh, there they are. Right. Now they're stood in the middle of nowhere. Thank you, Joanne Compost. Have you been outside or something? Getting your hands a bit mucky. And, of course, once they've done with this person, and hopefully it's not so broken that the things fly off when they spin around, which they haven't. That'd be a shame. That'd be jolly exciting, wouldn't it? And having all the drugs flying out all over the place across the room. I wonder if that happens. Probably just sets on fire. But, of course, we can get that fixed now. And someone else has been cured. And he's got a beard. Cristiano Hunt. Cured after 62 days in hospital. Just to get probably some antibiotics. How great is that? Staff promotion. From junior nurse to nurse. It's Robin Basket. Oh, he got love Robin Basket. We'll up his salary. And illness misery guts. Okay, we've unlocked the ward. We we're not going to do the ward in today's video. We're going to save that for next time because I'm going to do another installation of this series. We are going to put a ward in. We're going to leave that for today. We're going to have a quick recap of what we've done in a second. Just want to place a couple of benches, thinking about where we can place them just outside rooms. You don't need them outside the toilet because you shouldn't really have to queue for the toilet. But we can actually place some outside this new general diagnosis room. But we are going to leave that ward for next time. One of the most pivotal things, of course, in a hospital. We are going to leave that. We're going to do that next time. Save something interesting for next time. And, of course, complete many of the challenges on the top right. But in terms of what we got done today, we have managed to get that staff room sorted. That's looking lovely. Then we've got the reception. We've got the sort of sit-down waiting area. We've got a couple of GP officers. We've got the toilets in there. And then we've got the pharmacy and the general diagnosis room. We've done quite a little bit today here in Hogsport. There is the view from above. We've done quite a bit in this video. If you guys have enjoyed it, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. As I said, use that to vote for more videos in this series if you like it. But thanks a lot for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed the first installation in what may come quite a good series here on 2 Point Hospital. Really great game. I'd highly recommend it. But once again, thanks a lot for watching, and I'll catch you all sometime soon on the channel, and maybe we have another installment of this.